Hello guys, welcome to another video of Data Factory. In today's video, we are going to discuss about one trick which you can use to determine what are the parameters which you should be or which you can parameterize while generating the ARM template for your Data Factory deployment. Either you can export the ARM template to deploy the resources in the Data Factory, or you can also use this pipeline which we had done that in last video with npm package manager to export and publish the packages. Okay, if you click on one published, you get all the templates published according to or in this format. Here, this is the main template, this is the parameter file, and these are some of the scripts. Okay, and if you go here in the Data Factory portal, even from here you can export the ARM template. If you have to deploy the ARM template as well, import the ARM template directly inside Data Factory portal. You can do that from here as well. Okay. If you have to edit the parameter configuration file, which we'll be doing in this video, to determine which are the parameters you need to parameterize, you can do that from here as well. But before that, let me explain how what I means by parameterizing the parameters. For that, I will just export this template. I have already done that. Let me export it again and show you what is the issue with current template. And if you have to deploy the current template in multiple environments, you get multiple issues with this automated template. Let me open this. Suppose this is my template, and you can see the factory name, and this is the linked service which we have for Azure Blob Storage, and this is another linked service which we have for Azure Databricks. Okay, if you see in Azure Blob Storage, everything is parameterized, so this is okay. You don't have issue with this resource. You can deploy this resource easily in multiple environments. Suppose your QA, dev, or production environment. But some of the resources, for example, Azure Databricks linked service, if you see the cluster ID here, this is hard coded. If you see the cluster ID, domain, these are hard coded, and this you will have to parameterize because these are not yet parameterized. And if you have to deploy this resource or this template in multiple environments, suppose products, this cluster ID and the domain should be different for your Databricks, then only your work, then only this code is going to work, or this linked service will be working. If you deploy the same template, of course, suppose this is dev parameters like abcd-32 is your Databricks cluster ID for development environment. This is also going to be added in production, which will cause issues inside your production environment, and of course your template deployment or your pipeline will not work efficiently. You will have to do the changes manually. To fix this, we have one trick which you can do to parameterize this, which you can change the settings in your data factory so that all the resources like domain, cluster ID will be parameterized whenever you generate the ARM template again or export the ARM template again, or you use this pipeline to generate the ARM template again. Okay, I will show you that. If you see, at this time I had exported the template and we had this domain and cluster ID values are hard coded here. We'll have to make one change so that this domain and cluster ID are also parameterized, so that we can override these values in the runtime when deploying for multiple environments like QA or production. To do the same, you will have to go to ARM template here. Inside the ARM template, you will have to edit the parameter configuration file. Before doing this, you will have to link this your data factory with Git configuration from your Azure DevOps repository or GitHub repository, then only you will get this edit parameter configuration option inside your data factory. If you have not linked it, if you are in data factory mode or live mode, you will not get this option. This will be disabled. Okay. See, if I went into this data factory mode, this parameter configuration is disabled. You won't be able to edit. So to edit this, first go to Git configuration and add your Git configuration here from your repository where your data factory code is stored. Okay. Once you have completed this, go to ARM template. Let me change this to Azure DevOps Git mode. Let me so go to ARM template. If you want to include global parameters as well inside your ARM template, you can check this option as well. Then your global parameters will be also exported inside your template. Okay, these are the global parameters. If you want to click create a new global parameter, you can click create it from here. Okay, now let's go ahead and edit this. If you have to, or if you want to parameterize these hard-coded parameters, you will have to come here and edit this parameter configuration file and make the changes so that all the properties which you have mentioned here will be automatically parameterized when the templates are exported. Okay, if you come here, you can see the resource types or resources in data factory are divided here in multiple categories. If you see from here to here, you can see if you have to export something or some property for data factory, you'll have to make changes inside this. If you want to make changes or export some of the properties or some of the parameters for data factory pipelines, you'll have to make all the changes here inside this box. If you want to do this for integration runtime, you will have to make the changes here. Similar, if you want to do the changes for triggers, you will have to add the changes here. Okay, similarly for linked services, you will have to make the changes inside this box. Okay, this is similar for data sets, credentials, managed private endpoints, and global parameters. Since we are deploying the linked services, we are having issue with the linked service because in linked service, some of the parameters are not parameterized by default. Okay, we are going to make changes in our linked service code. Okay, if you go at the top, this is the section for linked services, and here we'll have to add the type properties of domain and cluster ID so that those will be exported. If you see here, at this time there is no domain and cluster ID, that's why they are not exported. Here the properties which are already here, whenever you generate the template, these all will be parameterized by default or automatically. So parameterized domain and cluster ID as well. We'll have to add this properties here. Add the same like this. Do the same with cluster ID as well. Let me add the cluster ID because we will have to export cluster ID as well to deploy the template in multiple environments. Okay, you got the issue right. If you are not parameterizing it, you won't be able to deploy this resource or this template in multiple environments. Every time you deploy in different environments like QA, same values will be populating everywhere in QA production or all the environments. But according to the requirements, this will be different for each of the environments. Okay, so that we are parameterizing it from here. We have added the domain and cluster ID properties inside our linked service. Now you can go ahead and save it. If you have to make something in triggers or make or parameterize some of the parameters inside your triggers, you can add those parameters or properties directly inside your trigger section. Same is the case for others as well, like integration runtime, pipelines, and other. We already made the changes in linked service. Now let's click on OK. And now try to export the ARM template. Let me click on export and see if those are parameterized or not. This is the latest template. Let me open it and let me open this template file and see if those are parameterized or not. So this is the updated template file. You can come here and you can see the domain and cluster ID both are now parameterized. These are the parameters being added at the top. You can see these two parameters are now added and these are parameterized. Now you can pass these parameters runtime for different environments, or you can override these parameters whenever you want to run the pipeline for different environment. Let me show you the parameter file as well. This is the parameter file, and you can see initially we had only these parameters only, factory name and blob storage, and now we have this Azure Databricks Data Lake 1 properties domain as well as cluster ID. Okay, so whenever you pass this parameter file and the template file for different regions or different stages inside your pipeline, you can always override these values and pass these values for different environments according to the environment or stage you might create inside your pipeline and deploy them in multiple environments. Okay, so this is how we edit the parameter configuration file in Azure Data Factory. And if you have to parameterize your parameters, hard-coded parameters, this is the trick you can follow it. Generally, you don't get this trick anywhere. You'll have to, I mean, research in internet if you want directly to go there and export or parameterize any of the parameters. Okay, that's it from this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe my channel. If you have any feedback or suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.